Hi, I'm Andres, and in this video, we're gonna be walking you through creating your first Google ad campaign. If you're a beginner and you haven't ran Google ads before, then you first need to understand what you need before creating these Google ad campaigns. So we actually created a how to set up a Google ads account. You can see the video up here, or the link is in the description. Now, in this video, we're gonna show you how to actually create your Google ad campaign from scratch, right? So this is specifically helpful if you are a beginner, and also if you've already ran Google ad campaigns before, but you perhaps don't have the results quite yet, or you're struggling with a specific bid, or there's certain elements of the campaign creation process that you're not quite clear on, then this will be a very helpful video for you as well. So stick around and let's dive right in. We're in the Google Ads account, so the first thing that you want to do here once you're in that creation process is create campaign, new campaign. Okay, very basic. So I do want to mention before we go through the campaign objectives is that you want to make sure that you have the Google Ads account set up properly, right? As well as the Google conversion tracking. Okay, we do have a video on this and you can see it up here. The link will also be in the description if you're not sure how to set up your Google conversion tracking. Okay, so let's move on. So with the campaign objective, you're gonna have various options here to choose from. So you have from sales, leads, website traffic, product and brand consideration to brand awareness reach, app promotion. So if you have an app that you want installs for, local store visits and promotions, and create a campaign without a goals guidance, okay? So typically, if we're talking about a YouTube ad campaign, I'd like to go through this create a campaign without a goals guidance. In this case, we are creating a Google search campaign. So I can also select this one, right? Which gives me a little bit of freedom of different subtype objectives to choose from, but I can also do leads as well, right? So if I do leads, notice that if you already have conversion actions set up, you're gonna have a few of these pop up here, okay? Now, if you have things that show up like inactive conversion actions, these are things that maybe the tags were removed, right? So you might wanna look into those particular actions, right? So there are other actions that show up as green, so it means that these are definitely running and they're okay to use. So that's the first thing. Here, you want to ask yourself what the objective is, right? So you can select the right options, right? You could actually even remove them from here, okay? Don't be afraid to hit remove, right? This is just based on this particular campaign. But if, let's say, you're not really concerned about any outbound clicks, this is something that you could actually go without, right? That's not a problem. If you want to focus more on purchases, right? If your account is more like e-com, right? And you want to aim at purchases, then maybe this is the only goal that you want to focus on. If you want to focus on leads and book calls, then maybe you just want to leave lead form, right? Submit lead form actions and the book appointment conversion goals. And then everything else you can basically remove. So let's just assume here, just for testing purposes, that we just want to leave these ones on here, right? We don't want the page views. We don't really want to optimize our campaign for page views. We want to optimize for leads and book calls. So we just leave these two as is, okay? So that is going to be our first step here is creating those.
Hey, really quickly, if you are somebody that's looking to get into YouTube ads, whether you want to do it yourself or you want it completely done for you, what I recommend is that you go down to the description of this video and click on the top link. What that will allow you to do is book a free strategy session with somebody on our team where we will sit down with you completely for free and see if YouTube ads make sense for your business. And with that, let's jump back into the video.
Okay, the next thing is the campaign type, right? So obviously in our particular example, we're just gonna do a search campaign, but you do have different options here, right? So you have the Performance Max, which you're able to use all of the other Google properties, which include display, Gmail, search, as well as YouTube. So it's an automated campaign, okay, that collects, let's say, all the assets that you give it, and it will transform it into an omni-channel, or in this case, omni-network type of campaign, okay? And it's just automated, right? And you can choose your audiences, very normal. So we actually have a video on the Performance Max setup up here if you want to take a look at it, or we'll also leave it in the description. Display, it's basically that, those the images that when you're logging into different websites or navigating and you see all these ads, you just visited adidas.com and you have these shoes that you just saw following you around, then those are usually display ads that these companies are using via shopping ads, right? This is another way. Shopping ads can also display on different website partner networks, things like that. And of course, video, you have the YouTube ad videos that we are known for, which is the drive conversion video action campaigns that we create to drive conversions, whether it's leads, book calls, or sales, okay? Discovery are also a very good format to choose from if you wanna just get more brand awareness, you wanna jump in front of people on YouTube, Gmail, as well as the Discover app for Google and other platforms, okay? The search one is the one that we wanna focus on today, so we're just gonna go with search, okay? In this case, we want, let's say, lead form submissions. And again, here, the naming convention on the campaign name, that is something that you'll want to, consider yourself. You don't really like to add add a date, describe what type of campaign is it, if it's a top of funnel or a cold prospecting campaign. So, you know, just to give you guys an idea. Again, you can do it as you please, but this is good for organizational purposes. So this is kind of like our format. And, you know, if you guys want this format, just message us and we'll get in touch with you, and you can take a sneak peek at our naming convention of how we actually break down our campaign naming conventions. Okay, so now that we have that information, we continue. Okay, so here it's asking me to create a new campaign or finish a saved draft, so we're going to actually start new. Okay, so the bidding strategy. So here, again, very important, before you go through this process, and I'll mention it a second time, you need to have conversion tracking installed and set up properly in order for you to actually utilize this bidding strategies. Okay, if you don't have conversion tracking, you're not going to be able to use, you know, target CPA or conversions the proper way. Okay, so ideally this is where you want to check that information in case you're wondering, but we do have a video that explains the conversion tracking in general, and you can see here in conversions. Okay, once you go to tools and settings, conversions, you can see all the conversions that are set up, right? Things that are inactive. So again, this is just a test account, so you're not going to see all the data, but you'll be able to see if there's any data here. If there's any actual conversions coming through, it'll show up here, right? They will show up. So very important aspect before considering the bid. Okay, but on the bid here, what we want to focus on is maybe conversions to start. If you have enough data on your account, but if you're watching this, I'm assuming this is the first time you're running Google Ads, so you'll definitely want to go with conversions and do max conversions at this point. Okay, as far as your Google search campaign goes. So that's going to allow you to, or allow the algorithm to really maximize to try to get you as many conversions as possible. Again, and this would only be possible if you set up the conversion tracking properly. So we hit next. Okay, now in networks, if we're just focusing on, again, the search campaign, this is very important, is you want to deselect display network. Okay, so they do talk about, oh, it's, you know, you'll get an additional conversion that's similar or lower cost in search with unused search budget. So, but we want to focus all our budget on the Google search network, okay? The Google search results, and when people search for the terms that are relevant, you know, to your offer, product or service. Okay, this is very basic. Location, just select the location, United States in this case. If you're a local company, right, or have a brick and mortar, then here you want to maybe get more specific, not do nationwide, but you want to do a specific location. If you're, you know, just in Orlando, Florida, you want to just target specific locations to Orlando, or let's say even zip codes, right? So remember, you can actually do zip codes and base it off of that, right? So check this out here. So that is solely dependent on your objective and where you are in the market, right? And if you want to target, again, if you have an offer that is nationwide, it's a virtual offer, or that anybody can buy in the US, then target the US, right? There's obviously other factors you can experiment with, targeting specific US cities, right? Major US cities to start. There's a couple of options that you have there, but for now, we're just gonna do US. Okay, so one thing that a lot of people miss, and this including me at the beginning, right? So 7 or 8 years ago when I started doing this, is in the location options, you have target location, this particular aspect, and it says presence or interest. So if you select this option, you're gonna target people regularly in or have shown interest in your targeted location. So what that means is it's not necessarily gonna target people living there as well. So anybody actually looking for, let's say, you know, traveling down to United States or traveling to Orlando, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're targeting outside of the US, but in order to also avoid any spam clicks or invalid clicks from other countries, which it does happen with Google Ads at times, then you want to select people in or regularly in your targeted locations. Okay, this will help with that particular aspect. Very important. Languages is very, very basic. I mean, if your offer is in Spanish, then just put in Spanish, right? Very basic. If it's in English, English, and you know, and so on, depending on the country that you're at and, you know, the market that you're targeting. Okay. Now, audience segments for search campaigns. Here you can actually do, if you want to target it, but in reality, we normally don't use targeting. Okay. We do observational, or even just leave it blank. Observational, what it does, you will be able to see in the audience segment, advertising and marketing services, and how many clicks are in people that are in that particular cohort of people looking for those specific services show up, and if there's actually even conversions there, but not necessarily that they're attributed to that, because you're going to see later on in the keywords which keywords are driving the results for your campaign, right? But again, normally we will leave these out, right? These audience segments, but you can add them to your campaign if you'd like, right? And basically, it's something that you can experiment with. The next thing here you'll see is automatically created assets. Okay, so with automatically created assets, you're kind of letting Google decide, hey, here's my content, right? So just kind of at the beginning when we set up the account in the previous video, it scans your website, right? It scans your website and it'll show you, okay, Google Analytics is installed, this website, it scans the entire thing and it crawls it for all the specific, let's say, keywords or the keyword density on the account, on the website, excuse me, and basically tell you, okay, it'll tell Google, this is the offer, right? This is the the type of people that I'm looking for on my campaign. So this is what you would do if you wanted to use dynamic, right? So if you select this, it's going to create some assets around the landing page, around, you know, basically the relevance of what the offer is, right? So it's a combination of the landing page, domain, and ads. That's what it's telling you now, right? So you can try it out. I mean, we've tried it in the past. Not the best results. I would say mixed results, just to say that it's not that it didn't completely, it did not perform to our liking, okay? So in this case, we leave it off, right? But this would be another way that you can leverage the tools, right? The automated tools that Google provides. Okay, so if you hit other settings, you're gonna see other options here. This is ad rotation, optimize, prefer best performing ads. We normally leave that as default. We don't really change that. As far as the dates, you know, if you have an end date, so if you have a promotional campaign that lasts a month, 2 months, 3 months, then you might want to put an end date to this, right? If you have some sort of discount that you want to give away for a specific month, then this might be useful for you. If not, then you can just kind of go without that. Ad schedule, we normally do all day. But again, this would be for more broader, you know, kind of make money online type of niches where we're targeting the entire US, right? Or entire countries. If you have a brick and mortar, or if you have, for example, I've done local dentistry ads, right? So for local dentists, they have a specific calendar, right? Or work schedule from 8 to 5 or 8 to 6, Monday through Friday, Saturdays from 8 to 1. And you want your ads to show on those specific days that you know you're gonna have somebody on the phones picking it up, then that's what you do. You just go in here and you select according to that. But if your offer is, you know, it's 24/7 an online offer where they can just kind of book a call, you know, they can submit and watch your video training and then book a call at any time, then don't limit yourself, okay? Just put all day. Okay, and then campaign URL options. This is more advanced tracking information, right? So if you have a UTM tracking templates that you want to use for tracking purposes, this is where you would add it as well. It's just one of the options. You can do it on the ad group level. You can add the tracking template there, or in the final URL on the ads themselves, right? So, but again, if you're just watching this to kind of get your campaign going, you may not need to worry about this right now. Okay, so now we move on to the keyword section. Okay, so here you have a few options, okay? And this would be our recommendation is, first of all, you want to do keyword research, okay? So you can leave this tab open and you wanna go to the keyword planner and maybe even have some alternate ideas, right? Like the keywords everywhere tool. So we use this as well. I know we've used SEMrush as well to get some ideas of, you know, what keywords to bid for depending on your offer, right? So, you know, if you have, so let's say your offer is dog training, say in Orlando, Florida. So dog training Orlando, then you can actually limit it by that, right? And just kind of see what the actual live auction, what the information or what data will show up for this particular search, right? So you can see here, there's actual search volume for dog training in Orlando, right? So these may be some of the keywords that you want to use: puppy training, dog training light Orlando, elite, dog training Orlando prices. So you can create a plan within the keywords, okay, here. So you can literally just go and copy these keywords and you could actually even paste them in here, okay? Very simple. Or if you want to do a deeper analysis on these keywords, what you want to do is maybe come up with a theme, right? So let's say dog training Orlando, that's one particular theme. This is one theme that you want to do for this ad group, and you can actually save these, right? You can add the keywords to create a plan, the one that I just selected, and these are kind of the main ones, let's say, that you want to use. You could also do an export, right? You can download these keyword ideas over here, add them as a Google Sheets, for example, that we can go back and analyze them. So this is a very important part. So don't rush through this. We're doing this as a tutorial, a step-by-step guide. So I would not rush through this particular part, okay? Just to kind of get your ad running, because this will be what will define, you know, your campaign from serving, from actually working, getting your clicks and getting your conversions right away, okay? So what I strongly suggest you do is take a step back, really think about what it is that you're offering. If you're offering a specific service that people are already looking for, how are people looking for that service? Okay, what are the alternate keywords? So these are very relevant keywords. Now, we can do something very similar and say, you know what, I'm gonna do dog training Orlando prices. So you could actually take this keyword and go here and you're gonna see different results, right? Maybe not a lot. So here's some. So this looks like another company, like a competitor, right? Dog training Orlando, Florida. So just do your analysis, right? There might be some keywords that you might be missing out on because you're not doing a full analysis or full research on these keywords. Does that make sense? So definitely take the time to come up with a plan for your campaign and not just, you know, throw in a whole bunch of keywords in there. Theme your keywords, right? So maybe ad group one, the way that we want to set it up is this is going to be dog training Orlando related, right? So anything related to Orlando dog training, puppy training, service dog training, maybe these are 4 or 5 keywords I want to include in here, then that is going to be my theme for this ad group and for this particular ad. So obviously I'm just doing an example here, but that's essentially how you go through this process, right? And create a responsive search campaign to try and maximize the results that you need. So once you go through this entire process, take your time in creating effective ad copy, right? So obviously you can leverage tools like ChatGPT nowadays to create some ad copy for you, but really think about, you know, what your competition is doing. So you can even just do the search yourself, dog training Orlando, right? So, you know, these are different things that you can do. Here's a few ideas, right? And it's not to copy these ideas, but rather, you know, just kind of get an idea of how you could do the ad yourself, right? So best Orlando dog training. So obviously this is something that you can bid for, right? If somebody's putting dog training Orlando, notice that it's showing up for dog training, okay? Not necessarily Orlando, but yeah, these are some of the ideas that you can get from just doing a research, right? Doing a quick research on the account. So once you have your ad and everything is reviewed, then your account will go live. But again, the way that I would set up the Google ad campaign is by themes, right? And maybe do 2 or 3 themes on the ad group and make sure that the ad is relevant to that. So, okay, so we're gonna speed ahead to the video, to the end. Once I'm gonna create some sample ads here, and then we'll go to the next part. Okay guys, so we're gonna do an example with a search ad that we had already created. And you're gonna notice the different components that we used, okay? And you can see a couple of things that we already added. So from a keyword perspective, notice that this has to do with YouTube marketing, right? It has to do with YouTube marketing companies, YouTube advertising agencies. So these are the keywords that we're going for, that we're bidding for in this particular ad. This is a live campaign. You know, we've actually gotten some leads from this and some clicks. So this is the setup here, okay? Very similar to what I showed you, you know, using the example of dog training, but essentially you need to get creative with your copy, your headlines, right? So notice, you know, this is very specific to what people's pain points are, right? People are trying to scale their advertising efforts. So we mentioned the word scale, ready to scale your YouTube ads, okay? Spend 25K per day on YouTube, you know, make YouTube ads work for you. So, you know, just really think about your offer and how you want to present it, but in a way that you need to think about the big pain points of people searching for your product or service, right? And go off of that problem solution, right? A problem-centric solution within your copy, okay? So, you know, YouTube ads agency, we make YouTube ads work, make YouTube ads work for you, right? So there's a lot of variations here. In the headlines, notice the descriptions, learn what it takes to spend 25K a day profitably on YouTube. Book free call today with the CTA. You want to have a clear call to action, right, within the CTA. So again, using the good dog training example, if you have dog training course, maybe it's, hey, you know, get our dog training course now, right? Or buy our dog training course. Or if it's a local, you know, book a call or book an appointment for dog training, things like that. So there's various things that do make up a good Google ad. So notice, you know, it does have good headlines, have some questions in the headlines, right? Need a YouTube ad agency. What else do you see here? You see the business logo, you have the business name. Yeah, so you can add some images here as well. This is something that's relatively new and Google's been pushing for it for, I guess, a few months, maybe even more than that, but not necessarily something that you need, right? But you can just kind of add it in here. It should help. You'll notice sometimes in the recommendations, hey, you know, add some images here, increase your optimization score by X percentage, things like that. So the site links as well, you can notice the site links here. You can make them from the account settings, right from the account, or basically just, you know, modify them accordingly, right? And just use them for these particular campaigns. So this is a campaign level site link. So that's pretty much it. And once you have the campaign, like I said, if you save the ad and you publish the campaign, your campaign will go live, but you definitely want to take time within your campaign to do the keyword research, okay? So I can't stress that enough, that these are some of the things that will either make or break your particular campaign, okay? Is ensuring that your keyword setup, it's the proper one, right? So the keyword research is the main thing that you want to spend more time on your account, and as well as having some good copy, ensuring that you have good keyword research and a good keyword setup within your campaign and the structure. That's gonna either make or break your campaign. Now, you know, it can work right away, or it might struggle to maybe spend. You might get some very high cost clicks. You know, you can see here, there's definitely some research that you can do based on what type of offer service you have. There's high competition blue collar services out there, like lawn mowing services, you know, house painting services, pressure washing, ceramic painting for cars, things like that, ceramic coating. And there's other niches maybe that they're not as competitive. But nowadays there's business everywhere. And if you're just starting out with Google Ads, don't stress out. You can definitely compete with the big dogs out there. We've done it before with dentists. We've done it with other type of niches, and lawyers. And I've done lawyer type of advertising. It comes down to a few things. Having a good setup, okay, as you can see, it's a very straightforward setup based on the step-by-step within your Google ad campaign. Ensuring that your website or your landing page where you're driving traffic to loads up fast, right? That it's easy to navigate. The headline's very clear what you're offering. So that's something that normally isn't discussed in a lot of these tutorials, but I can tell you that you want to ensure that all the steps in the funnel are there, okay? That the user experience, it goes a long way. You don't just want to create a campaign and go live, but then if you send it to like a crappy page or a slow loading website or landing page, you're not going to get the results that you need, right? So really think about landing page CRO optimization. Think about what would be better ways to convert people that are interested in your offer, right? So take all these things into account. It's not just about, okay, I just saw the tutorial. It's good for you to understand step by step what buttons to click, how to set up the campaigns a specific way, but more importantly is how to convert these users, how to convert these potential customers into paid clients, right? At the end of the day, into leads that can pay you money, right? That at the end of the day, that's what makes advertising, in my opinion, it makes it fun, is like really trying to make it work. Is like, okay, we got people interested. How can we get them from potential customer to customer, okay? And there's just a lot of moving pieces. And this is just one piece. This tutorial is gonna help you get your foot in the door of advertising, but from there, you have to tweak different things. So it may be that your website is just not strong enough, or your landing page, it doesn't convert well enough because the copy is off, or you don't have enough testimonials there to really validate your offer, whatever it may be. But these are other steps later on in that funnel, right, in that customer journey, that you need to take into account before you actually invest heavily on Google Ads. But once you have all these things in play and you start getting conversions, then that it gets exciting. And now you can optimize accordingly, you can test different things and get the results that you're looking for. So that's a piece of advice today, is follow this tutorial, but don't forget about the basics. Don't forget about your messaging. Don't forget about the user experience. Make it, super fast loading website, to the point offer, messaging, some videos, some images on your landing page. You have a very simple contact form, or phone number that's clearly visible, that has the call out link, that way people can reach out to you right away. So there's a few things in there that we discussed. Take these things into account, and I guarantee you're gonna start seeing results very soon. So thanks again for watching. This was Andres from Links Digital. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications to get notified when we drop some more video advertising and marketing knowledge your way. And we'll see you on the next video.